Car buyers have been waiting all summer. They've actually been waiting all spring, and as well, they've been waiting all last year to finally get some good car deals. We've seen the market flip in certain ways, and I've talked about this in recent videos, that the actual marketplace is starting to transition a little bit, and we're starting to see some great deals with some great incentives. And July 4th is coming up fast and furious, so I actually have summarized some of the best amazing deals you really want to look and target if you're actually in the market for a new vehicle. These represent a phenomenal deal, but let's summarize some of these for you, because get ready, because they're coming in fast and furious. By the end of the month, you better have your finances in order, because here we go. The first one we're looking at is a Hyundai Ioniq 6. They're saying they're giving about a 16% discount on this vehicle, and the price ranges from $37,500 to $53,650. Recommended model is the 6 SEL all-wheel drive. The MSRP is $48,750, but you're able to save $7,987. And so the bottom line of that vehicle is $40,763, which might save you a little bit of money if you want to get into the electric vehicle market. Not want to buy a Tesla? Try something a little bit different. This might be your bet if for some reason you're looking for an electric vehicle. And you'll notice a bit of a common denominator here. Some of the biggest incentives are coming in that space, but there's some great ICE vehicles too that are incentivized. So let's check the next one. Another popular one, we know, again, I've said electric vehicles seem to be highly incentivized because of the poor sales. But those that really want to get on board, well, hey, it's your money, and Kia EV6 offers as 16% off to save more of your money, because you're able to get that vehicle. It ranges from $42,600 to $61,600. Pretty good span there, but you're able to get some decent deals in there. The recommended model would be the Wind all-wheel drive version of the EV6. $52,600 would be your base MSRP for that. With your discounts of $6,552, you could probably get that for $44,000 and just a little bit of change. Absolutely represents a great deal for a very popular model that a lot of people are trying to get their hands on, and it was really blown out of proportion, but it has its own attributes, and I wouldn't buy an ICE, Kia or Hyundai in my own personal opinion, but this recommends a great opportunity to get into electric vehicle space if you're not interested in going with a Tesla. But maybe you want something a little bit more European flavored. How about an Audi Q4? We have here 15% off coming up here real quick, so if you want something along that line, we know they do depreciate pretty hard, not as bad as some of the electric vehicles. So if you want something more Euro flavored from the VAG group, this might be an opportunity to get $49,800 to $58,200. So about a $10,000 spread, or $9,000 between the top and the top bottom trim of the Q4. And the recommended would be likely to go with something that was the Q5 e-tron Premium Plus 50 Quattro. MSRP is $55,200. That gives you about $8,312 off. That's right, pretty substantial savings there. And the bottom line is about $46,888. But as I always say, go in there, don't pay even the bottom line. Look at these numbers, and I always suggest going in there with even more aggressive negotiation tactics. Maybe try to get invoice pricing. We talked about Edmunds, and Consumers Reports has some of those numbers available. So start looking at those numbers and see if they add up in terms of your overall here. My personal take is a lot of these incentives are enough to get you in the door, but the dealers are still making money. So they're not literally blowing them out, but they're definitely trying to incentivize to move some of these products. So if you're looking for a Q4, it might be an opportunity, or who knows, maybe you want something European. The next one is Kia Niro Electric, 15% off, ranges from about $40,000 up to about $44,000 and change. Probably look at getting the Niro Electric Wind. Stickers around $39,600, and $5,792 can be actually saved with that, so it's a pretty good savings. And the bottom line would be about $33,808. So actually not a bad deal, for being honest. Now, a Niro is a smaller little, almost subcompact, but hey, it's $33,000. So we're almost at the point of you can barely touch in an old school ICE vehicle for really $25,000. So for a few bucks more, you're actually into the subcompact electric vehicle space. Might be worth a look if you've been considering it. Kia and Hyundai, they've got lots of offerings. So there you go. Another one is Audi's A4 at 12% off, 41.9 to 44.100 is the range. So not a big range on the A4, which is kind of their base model. Yeah, you've got an A3, you've got some smaller models, but the A4 is a pretty mainstream, kind of the least friendly vehicle. You know what? I would suggest maybe look at the Premium Plus 40 TFSI Quattro. Quattro, the great all-wheel drive system. You get the Audis. They probably have some of the best all-wheel drive systems on the market, if we're being honest. Their infotainment or their MMI systems are the best. And a lot of times their interior fit and finish is now better than some of their competitors. Look at Audis. Just at least go take a look. Again, I'm not pitching this. I'm just saying there's some incentives there for people maybe looking for the European flavor. I think the interiors are nicer, more nicely done than some of their competition, certainly from BMW. And Mercedes has nice style, but the quality isn't quite there. So Audi, they have a nice vehicle here available. And if you want to look at an A4, $41,900 for that model, you can save as much as $5,000. And you can get it as cheap as $36,886. So honestly, for about $36,000, you can get into a brand new Audi A4. That actually does not sound like terrible purchasing power by today's standards. It feels like a lot of these prices are starting to settle out. And while a lot of people are paying high prices for some of these oversized, overpriced pickup trucks and SUVs, there are some good deals, as you can see. I'm actually a little bit pleasantly surprised by this one. $36,000 for brand new Audi A4. Here's one that's really caught my eye. We all know Stellantis, they've been pushing hard and trying to sell a lot of their products. They're not selling. Their Rams, their Jeeps, their Dodge, and their Chrysler products aren't really selling that well. With Rams being really heavily incentivized, I said the Ram Classics, we're seeing, local dealerships advertise. These aren't like the federal deals, but local dealers advertising $18,500, $20,000 off of sticker. You can pretty much go in there and negotiate almost anything you want. Honestly, if you're okay with the driving yesterday's news, the Ram Classic is probably one of the best deals on full-size trucks you can get today. Definitely go with the Hemi version of it. The V6 is the base. Not really a good option there in my opinion, but that's one option. The other one is the general Ram 1500. There's a general across the line at 10% off. They range from about $39,000 up to $96,000. Pretty big spread, as you see, like say from the classics all the way up to the more premium models. And the Tungsten coming up here right away will probably exceed $100,000. So the pretty big spread. And they're offering for 24 model years of the 1500 Bighorn 4x4 quad cab. That's the 6'4" box. A pretty nice rig, pretty decent overall setup with a Bighorn, nice looking unit. And I would suggest, going in there, they're saying the MSRP is around $48,435. And with that said, with that $5,000 discount, you can now get that beautiful 24 Bighorn for about $43,000. See, now we're talking. Now we're starting to push these prices into a place that's almost a little bit more agreeable. Again, it's not a giveaway, but $43,000 for a brand new Bighorn Ram, yeah, you can certainly do worse. That's actually a pretty decent deal. So if you're looking for one of these full-size trucks, that is a great offer. Coming up July 4th, you're going to see this at the 4th of July. Big time to celebrate not just your new vehicle purchase, but also the celebration, obviously, the American holiday, and in Canada, July 1st for Canada Day. There's lots of great options coming up here in the summertime. We look at the next one, Hyundai Santa Cruz. They're giving about 10% off. They range from $26,900 up to $41,000. And they're basically, what I would recommend would probably be a 24 Hyundai Santa Cruz XRT all-wheel drive. Probably gets your best trim level, the most efficient without blowing your budget. And they sticker around $40,100. That gives you about $4,104 off of sticker. And you can get that vehicle for $35,996. So again, for about $36,000, you get into a fairly well-spec'd Hyundai Santa Cruz, and it's their kind of wannabe pickup truck. I mean, who are we competing with? You've got the Ford Mavericks. They're starting to creep up in price too, and I've seen this. I shared that. The XLTs now are into the 40s, at least Canadian. Probably US, you're in the same space as this. But I personally think the Hyundai Santa Cruz is a prettier vehicle than the Maverick, but that's my own take on it. And of course, we also know Toyota's coming out with a small, cheap truck as well. As a lot of other manufacturers are starting to kind of figure out that this is a market that a lot of buyers are shopping at. So you can get a new Santa Cruz for $35,000, $36,000. Ford Mustangs. Hey, you want a sports car? You want internal combustion? Good old tried and true North American vehicle. I love Mustangs. I had one once with the old 5-liter V8 manual gearbox. I loved it. Mine was a solid rear axle, but it was a fun car to drive. It had some great sound effects. But you can still buy a great Mustang, 10% off. They range from $30,900 up to $58,900. I generally wouldn't go with the smaller engine. Go with the V8s. Always, always, always. It's a Mustang. So as a result, I would say go with the 24 Mustang GT. Don't go with the base cheap, because you'll feel cheap and the depreciation will hurt them even more. So the GT starts at about $42,460 currently, but a 24 model year you can get with a $4,123 discount. You can actually get a new Mustang GT with a $38,000 tag to it. That's actually not bad for one of those tried and true muscle car, performance cars. 38 grand might be a good opportunity to get, what's, the outgoing of 24 model years. Again, I've always said this. The 24s, as we're seeing the 25s roll in, guaranteed you're going to pay more for the 25s. So they're trying to incentivize the 24s on the way out the door. This is, as we evolve, July 1st might be a good opportunity. There might even be more incentives as the year goes on. As we get later in the year, they're trying to push even harder to get rid of what's outstanding for the 24s. Problem is, cars like this, limited number of colors, options. You want manual, it might be harder to find. And so a lot of these are going to be harder to come by. So Mustang GT, this might be your opportunity to get into a great fun sports car. So yeah, take a look at it. Another one, Hyundai Elantra Hybrid, 9% off, 26 grand to 29,000 and change is the range. Small range there. I would probably look at the Hyundai Elantra Hybrid Blue. Go with the hybrid. It's a $26,250 car. This is an option for people that just want to get into probably no nonsense, no muss, no fuss hybrid, want to experience the technology, do it on a budget-friendly experience. This is actually probably one of your best options, if we're being quite frank. Not saying they're the best built cars. Toyota, Hondas are probably a better option, but at this price point, you really can't go wrong. So $26,250 is the sticker price on that. You can save $2,392. You could actually get this vehicle for $23,858. 24 grand, and you can get a wonderful new hybrid tech that's not going to break the bank. It's a great option for those looking to just to save a buck and get a great little commuter car that you just need for the next 3 to 5 years. This might be a great option, for being quite honest. And you won't touch a Toyota for that. You won't touch a Honda for that. But there you go. Hybrid technology for 23 grand. Another one is Nissan Kicks, 8% off. They range from 21 to 23.9. Very stripped out, bare bones, chintzy kind of a feeling vehicle. But for people that just need a commuter, this can cut the mustard. So 24 Nissan Kicks SV front wheel drive. So it's a pretty base vehicle, but for those just basic commuter, that's all you need. The MSRP is $23,200, and they're giving $1,846 off sticker. You can actually get a Nissan Kicks base transportation. I'm warning you, it's no frills, but it has a pretty good host and suite of safety features, probably better than some of its competitors. And you can get that the bottom line price for $21,354. Go in there, sharpen some pencils, maybe even get it for less than 21 grand. An awesome deal, 20 grand for a brand new vehicle. Yeah, it's not the highest quality. Yes, it's not fast. Yes, it's not amazing and it won't blow your socks off. But if you need a cheap vehicle to commute for the next few years, maybe get into retirement, maybe you are in retirement and you just need something to get around for those short little trips that you do from time to time, 20 grand is a small investment to get you around. It's almost the point where it's cheaper than buying a bus pass. So there are some amazing deals coming up, folks. You definitely want to capitalize on some of those deals. I hope I shared some insight for you. You can get trucks, sports cars, electric, hybrid. There's a little bit of everything there for you. Definitely check out that video though. Cost of living crisis is real, and that's why we all have to be aggressive when we start looking for these deals. And I like a deal as much as you like a deal. So maybe take a look at some of these. Let me know in the comments section below if any of those really appeal to you. I'd love to hear it because, you know, I look at these deals, but what do the customers really want? I'd love to hear it. Hope to see each and every one in the next one. See you real soon. Bye-bye.